What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe Frame Builds. We are here to talk about Kullervo. The man, the myth, the legend, the melee king of death plus some. So, I want to preface this by saying, yes, this is updating from my original Frame Builds video for two reasons. One, I don't know why my camera's sagging, but for one, as soon as I saw a Kullervo augment come out, I figured I was going to be reshooting this anyway, and so I'm literally shooting this the night that I'm posting it. But for two, I wanted to point out some extra builds that I had done a couple of months ago, just prior to shooting this build, or this video initially. And it's because of my clanmate Hans, who we were talking back and forth about how good Kullervo is, and I wanted to put my money where my mouth was as far as the versatility and synergy of what you can do with a frame, kind of like I spoke about it, about how to synergize frames and loadouts and builds and so on. So I really got to tinkering, and I found some really funny situations. So this video is definitely going to be longer than most of the frame builds because I've got a couple of very specific setups, so we're just going to go over them. The shards are going to be identical across the board. So we have ability strength, and then 3 for duration. Okay, so obviously, as you see, this is the Nourish build, and this is also the primary build that I use for defense. So my preferable choice for a melee is my Incarnate Ceramic Dagger. It is especially punctual, especially with the Riven that I have. I mean, for Christ's sake, the fucking thing on its base side is doing 187.7 crit, so you can just imagine how hard this thing hits with Kullervo. It's a thumper. So, the melee build. Now, you're going to see these other two builds up top. And when I tell you I put in months of time trying to put my money where my mouth was on this, I really did. And I found two very interesting setups that actually work either way. But the first build, Archiplasmor, Cycron, Incarnate Ceramic Dagger. We're using the new Augment Volatile Recompense. And yes, I believe I very briefly spoke about those other two builds, about how we'd cover it in a Kullervo build. And we're going to do that. So this is basically a decent amount of ability duration, fuck efficiency, because we have Nourish, and a lot of ability strength. A lot to make Nourish really, 2.61, energy regen, really not a problem. Volatile Recompense is just kind of like the staple mod that you now want on Kullervo, just to make him basically not ever die unless you do something really stupid. Because the only negative to Volatile Recompense is that basically, although it constantly keeps Overguard going, it's basically one knife at a time hitting an enemy. So it's enemy, blast proc, knife comes back, next one goes out, so on and so forth. But this is my basic defensive setup, and we're going to show these builds one at a time. So we're just going to Nourish, we're going to do a little bit of this love. You know what? Just for the defensive standpoint, I may leave this pause for all of them, honestly. But we're going to do these at 230 instead of the 155 that I've been doing. So, basically, you just come over here, you hit your Overguard, and as you see, it does climb up slowly because it's one knife at a time. Every time you hear that swipe, that's another chunk of Overguard being gained. But this is just kind of how this works. And yes, it does kind of very slowly build up your combo. Now we're capped out. And then we just do a little bit of this. If it'll fucking aim, Jesus Christ. Bruh, what the hell is going on? Thank you. I mean, and those are level 230s, so no harm, no foul here. Works fine. Defensively works fine. I mean, like, it just kills the shit out of them, and there, again, that's the only minor negative, is that you basically lose 850 Overguard. Whoop-de-fucking-do, or 845, or whatever it is. So that's build number one. Build number two is going to be focused around the Sporothrix. Now, we're going to go ahead and equip the melee, because it's very funny. Once I figure out where that bitch is. Okay, so we have a build for that, and then we have a Kullervo build for this. Now, The thing about the Sporthrix is, unlike most sniper rifles, there is no zoom function. It is just basically, boom, you get sight. So to compensate for the lack of gained critical damage, you get a gained multiplier of base damage. It's almost like having a melee combo, but on a sniper rifle. It's not quite that way, but the general idea behind it is still relatively the same. So having that increased damage, couple that with Zada's Whisper, and then Kullervo's Collective Curse. Okay? This just gets really stupid, especially when you buff the shit out of the Zada's Whisper with Precision Intensify. On top of giving yourself ability strength to make up for the loss of, okay? By dipping down the ability strength from what my normal defensive build would be, because we're really focusing on, yes, we want to redirect damage. You need 200% ability strength in order to redirect that damage to 100% redirection. But then we want Zada's Whisper to really fucking hit home and really booger them up. So we're really spreading the cooties here. And then, of course, Molt Augmented, just because it's really fucking good just applying that much more damage with Zada's Whisper. Because again, void damage is true damage in a sense. Like, the only thing it doesn't affect is fucking Eidolons, if I remember correctly. So, but this is a very interesting scenario. Okay? This is a hugely interesting scenario. So, we're just gonna hit this. We already have Overguard, so we don't need to hit that bullshit. And it is like, you know, his Collective Curse is line of sight, so like as you see, some of these people have not been struck. So we do need to hit them all, and then we just shoot one in the fucking face, and, yeah. Sayonara. Now you notice 3.5 times shot combo, right? .5. It's really rude. I mean, it is ridiculously fucking rude. Now, do you need a volatile variant for this particular build? Abso-fucking-lutely you do. If you do not have volatile variant, this is not going to work. Okay, it's just not. Not in the same level of function, because not only are you applying Zada's Whisper, but you're also applying, you know, multiple barbs coming off of that enemy on top of, you know, just 60% to headshot multiplier. It just, everything about this build just combines on top of itself. This is unbelievably powerful. Now, the Harmony will work with this. So if you only want to do one of these builds, you can do either one. Zada's works better for the Sporthrix. Roar works better with the Harmony, but both will work. Now, the funny thing about this, okay, and there's a couple of things that you don't usually see me use, and that is Lasting Sting and Melee Afflictions. Now, the funny thing is that most scythes will end up ragdolling an enemy anyway when you heavy attack them and don't kill them, but the Harmonic Resonance function, basically, when you whack-a-mole a fucking enemy with this thing, not only does it buff status duration, but it also ragdolls the shit out of enemies, which, when you ragdoll an enemy, you get 6 additional status effects when they are knocked down or flung by melee attacks. So this is all working together. And then Lasting Sting, we are increasing that status duration even longer. That way the shit hangs the fuck about and we really stack the fuck out of the goddamn status. And in doing so, you can kind of use whatever, within reason, okay? You can use whatever Sentinel you want to. Personally, I like Dirija specifically because Dirija does its own electric proc. On top of it, the Burst Laser Prime gives you just enough goodies to have a rapid fire rate, but also just stack every kind of fucking damage on this thing imaginable, because why the fuck not? So we're doing Slash, Heat, Puncture, Impact, Viral, Radiation, and Magnetic, so these are all statuses that are going to just go if you ragdoll an enemy. So just picture that with Collective Curse. Now, with Zada's, is it as impressive? No. Does it fucking work? Yes. So, we can do Zada's, and here, let's come over here so we actually do most of these bitches, and then we'll just come over here and bonk. And we notice that looks like melee influence, but it's most certainly not, and we see a ludicrous 5.5 million on a ×3 combo. I mean, like, yeah, does Zada's work? Abso-fucking-lutely it does. But it gets even more ludicrous when you do something like Roar. Now, again, the build does change. Again, the minimum that you want to go for is 200% ability strength, but we do also want some more duration with this build. Ready Steel for the more combo, which, again, you can do that on this primary build if you want to, since we're running Equilibrium on both. You could do Ready Steel on both just to make Harmony work a little bit better. But truthfully, Arcane Steadfast, to where you can really just kind of roar and then spam, you know, basically Collective Curse and spam and Collective Curse and spam the, you know, Wrathful Advance and so on. So you are going to get a touch more spammy with this build, but it is very, very ludicrous. Okay? It just really is. So, that being said, let's go make frenzies, shall we? So, we're going to try to come over here. We'll hit Roar. Now, there's always that one bitch. Now see, that's 1 million on a ×4, and it doesn't seem as good, right? But that wasn't also a Collective Curse, nor was it Ragdolled. I don't know why this isn't behaving tonight. I mean, this is... that was 56 million, if I'm correct. 7.1 million. There's random jolts in power like that. It's kind of wild. But does the Sporothrix work with this, right? Does it really work? Wasn't trying to do that, I can tell you that much. Here, fuck him. Let's just kill him. Thank you. Yeah. It works. I mean, like, let's do the whole kit and caboodle party here. Get Roar back up. Of course, the bitch does the electric boogaloo. Either build works as you would like it to. It's just more punctual with the Sporothrix, with Zadas, and it's more punctual with the Harmony, even though it doesn't really look like it, okay? Trust me, you take this into a mission with the Harmony, do, you know, Collective Curse, have Roar running, you start seeing some ludicrous numbers, okay? Not billions, but definitely high hundreds of millions at times, so it gets really, really dumb. So overall, how good is Kullervo? Kullervo is dumb. I mean, that is literally the best possible way that I can put it. And I'm sorry if you keep seeing me look over. My son literally got injured an hour ago, so I'm waiting for updates. So that's what I've got. Kullervo is like at the point of being broken good as far as survivability and damage output. So no, I don't just run him as a defense frame. My preferable use is a defense frame, but it's definitely not the only way I run him. So, folks, that has been Kullervo. That is the frame build. Well, thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one.